Yes. So here are some ideas about different ways to create a story. You might review your life story and the important episode in your life story that you told about, and see if there's any issue in your life story, any social issues, as a woman, as a man, as a Tamilian, as an Indian, whatever groups you're in. See if there are any issues in your personal experience that you might like to make a story out of. In other words, you can take elements from your experience and create a character, create a situation that will involve some of those situations, but in a different way. So then you can say that the fictional story is based on or inspired by some personal experience. You might also review some of the favorite stories of your favorite stories, including stories that you've told in the last 6 months, and take an element from one of those stories. You might want to change the character. If it was a story about animals, you might make it a story about humans. If it was a story about humans, you might make it a story about animals. And of course, you can change the time period. But just scan your memory and your feelings about what issues, what questions, what situations are most interesting to you, what relationships are most interesting. Parent-child, brother-sister, husband-wife, friend-friend. Many writers develop a favorite type of relationship that they like to create stories about. Early on, we did an exercise of scan your memory to a situation, something that happened that was interesting, that was unusual, that was remarkable. You might try that a few times, not once. Try it a few times on different days. Something that happened in the last few days. Sometimes when I do that activity, people come up with an incident that happened 20 years ago that they're still thinking about. So you can take something that happened, and again, you can change it. You can modify it to bring out the point that you want to bring out. Now I'm going to tell you two activities that can help you access your unconscious. One is called active imagination. And you can imagine walking in a forest and try to activate your senses, your sense of smell, your sense of touch, smelling the different plants, and some of the plants are decomposing. The smell of that, and some leaves are smooth, some leaves are kind of fuzzy, some leaves are rough. So there's a sense of smell, there's a sense of touch as you're walking through the forest, and it's a cool environment because you're in the shade, and but now you come to a clearing, and actually you've come to the beach, and you look out and you see the sky and the ocean and the sand, and it's so huge, the distance of the sky and the ocean, so huge. And you walk down to the sand's edge, and there's a small boat there, and you can imagine getting into it. It's a calm day, so there are no big waves. There's not a lot of wind. Oh, and you might really imagine the color of the ocean. Is it a pure blue, or is it a kind of greenish blue? Try to really visualize it, because you want to activate your senses, and you want to give it a sense of reality. So you get in the boat and row out a little bit, and it's deep. Already it's deep. You look down, and you can't see the bottom. You can't see the ocean floor. And you can kind of playfully, poetically say to the ocean, "Oh, ocean, you are like my imagination. You are like my unconscious. please send something up that I can learn from, that I can use in a story. Sometimes at night I ask you to send me a dream, and you send me a dream, and I learn from the dream. Now just send me an object, or an image of an object, or even a living creature, a living being. But if you send me an object, if an object comes to you from beneath, you want to pretend that you want to personify it. Pretend that it has eyes and a mouth, and then it has human consciousness and human language, whether Tamil or Hindi or English, and thank the object for coming. Or now the object is a character. Thank them for coming, and have a little conversation with whatever comes up. If something comes up that's not interesting, just let it come and go, and keep the space clear until something more interesting comes. But when something interesting comes, yes, it might ask you a question, or tell you something, or you might tell it or them something. So that is called active imagination. It was actually an activity developed by Carl Jung, a psychologist, who had great respect and interest for not just the individual unconscious, but for the collective unconscious. The material in your culture and other cultures that you knew about, how it's inside you and it can come up to your consciousness at times. So, and it's called active imagination because you're actively asking your imagination to send something up, and then you're actively having a conversation. You're interacting with what comes up. So what comes up might be a character in a story that you might want to flesh out and develop. Okay, that is active imagination. And now, question-based story making. Imagine imagine it's daytime, and you might still be in that boat, or you might be on land, you might be in a forest, you might be in a city. You can be any place, but it's daytime. And try to see the environment, whatever the environment is. Look around and see the details of it, and get a sense of the air quality. Is it very hot? Is it cold? Is it windy? Is the air still? Does the air smell sweet? How does the air smell, and how does it feel? And is it hot or not hot? Then now that you have a landscape, whether city or country or wherever, pull back and see if a character might be there, if a character might walk into that scene, a human, an animal, anything. Invite someone, something to come into your scene. And if someone or something comes, notice what is the way they are moving. Are they moving in a smooth way or in a jerky way? What is their posture? It may be a group of people or a group of animals, but try to zero in on one individual and get a sense of the posture of the character, standing up straight or bent over, and the way the character is moving. And, male, female, or other. And how does the character's hair look? What clothing is the character wearing? And zoom in on the character's face. And you especially want to imagine the eyes and the mouth. And if you can do that, you can get a sense of how the character is feeling. How does the character seem to feel based on your vision of the character's eyes and mouth? Does the character seem to be calm or anxious about something? Do you have a sense of Uh, does the character want something? Does the character want to go someplace? Does the character want to do something? For that matter, where has the character come from? You just imagine. And this character, where does the character live? Does the character live alone? Does the character live with others? What kind of living situation is the character in? But to get back to the character's face, if the character does seem to want something, then you can ask yourself or ask the character, what does the character want? And if you can get an answer from that, you have a story. Because once a character wants something, the balance of the story is going to be, does the character get it, not get it? What does the character have to do to try to get it? Does the character need money, friends, assistance of some sort? And so what will happen? Okay, that is question-based story making. A method really, as far as I can gather, especially founded by a drama therapist in England named Alida Gersey, who I've met. I've interviewed her. And originally this was called six-part story making. But together we've expanded it into more than six parts. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now, and then maybe we can have a little conversation. Just a moment.